Hi again. I'm here to talk to you about your coursework for January 12th, tomorrow Saturday, due tomorrow night, midnight, by 11:59 p.m. with the usual 3-hour grace period. No one sent me a request to extend that grace period longer than that, so I did not do that. Um, What you're going to do for tomorrow is pretty simple. You're going to read your classmates' comments and revise your paper based on your classmates' comments to improve your paper. Now we're in the revision phase of the writing process heuristic, so we're going to revise our papers by rereading it, looking at your classmates' comments. Also, I've included an extra credit activity where you can go to NetTutor. In NetTutor, there's something called NetTutor Live, and you can get a live tutor online, and they will look at part of your paper, maybe all of it. I'm not quite sure. They generally have a cutoff of about 400 words, and yours is 500 words. So maybe if you talk to them nicely, they'll look at your whole paper. That would be good. Or alternatively, if they won't, you can submit half of your paper and they'll talk about half of the paper. Then you can go in later again and submit the other half of the paper and they can talk about that. So there are different ways you can work with NetTutor Live. Do not do a Dropbox with NetTutor right now because they won't give you back a paper with any kind of comments sooner than 48 hours. So there's no point to do that. So anyway, you're going to revise your Frederick Douglass paper and turn it in tomorrow. That's the main thing that you need to do. And of course, hopefully you've started to watch the Malcolm X film. If you haven't, you need to view the Malcolm X film. This is in preparation for our next paper, actually, where we're going to write a film review. And then we're going to read about Malcolm X and how he learned to read and write. And the paper after that is going to be a comparison of how both Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass learned to read and write. So I think you can see how all of this works together, starting with learning about the reading process, learning about the writing process, looking at how someone in particular learned how to read and write, and actually looking at how two people learned to read and write, both Frederick Douglass and Malcolm X, learning to read and write in very difficult circumstances. They had difficult circumstances that none of you, I believe, have probably experienced the extent of difficulties that they had to face in order to learn to read and write. So we're looking at that. That's where we're going with this. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. I'm looking at the announcement page, and I don't see anything else that I should be talking about. I do want to mention one thing in terms of the MLA format. I can't remember if I've mentioned this before. I think maybe I did yesterday. But I'll mention it again. The MLA format requires double spacing down the page, top to bottom, with no extra spaces. And there's a trick to get that. You have to click on the paragraph icon in Word. And then when you are doing double spacing, you have to click double spacing, of course. But there's also a little box on that page that says check this box if you don't want extra spaces between paragraphs of the same style. You don't want extra spaces between paragraphs of the same style, so you got to check that box. And I think that's the most important thing I should tell you about formatting, because I really want to see double spacing down the page when you submit this. As well as please paginate if you can, which is paginating as a header. And also, if you remember, the page number, your last name with the page number in the upper right hand corner of the page should be the same font, size 12 font, as the rest of your paper. Remember, everything in MLA formatting is size 12 font. So there's all those little things that we have to remember. Why am I being so petty about this? Am I a petty person? Maybe. No, the MLA format is what all English teachers require, and a lot of other subject areas. When you write your papers, they want to see the MLA format. And also, when everybody submits a paper with the same format, it's really much easier for a professor to read. And when a paper is easy for a professor to read, the professor gives you a better grade, even if you have errors and little problems. I'm serious. In fact, there was some research done many years ago, back in the day, when people just typed papers. And so professors were given handwritten papers by students, and the professors graded those handwritten papers. And then the same papers were typed up, given back to the same professors. The professors reread them as typed papers. And guess what? On average, all of those typed papers got a 1-letter grade higher than the handwritten papers. So what that goes to show is that formatting is very important, getting the formatting right, so that a paper is really easy to read by the professor who's giving you your grade. Oh, wait, that's me, isn't it? Okay, see you online.